was like babysitting. And
my thought was, what do we tell our sons?
nigga, if you buying that ticket, you be fucking.
I got everything I need at my house. I don't need a hall pass.
No. Every time I get to a corner and I see somebody doing a famous Baltimore gangster lean.
We outside.
Yes, indeed. It's the Shop Podcast. We are back. We are live. We are here. Everybody's doing well. Fresh off the brand new StreamYard. Please respect it. I have my sister Toya here. I have the great Splish Splash, Miss Sharp Lady, and Big Pastor. How everybody doing this week? Everybody good? Everybody alive?
We good.
And I'm nice and wet.
Bless.
Oh. We're jumping off the deep end.
I just jumped.
I couldn't even cut the comments on. She threw me off.
Yeah, I just jumped. I jumped all the way in. Both feet, both hands. I'm just all the way in. Hey, everybody.
Yes, people.
You did indeed.
Shout out to the people at 1515.
Yeah. Always giving them business, right?
All right, folks, we try to change things up, get it going a little bit different with a nice new structure. So I think we should go into question of the day.
All right, y'all. So the question of the day is, what do you think they no longer have in school that they should, or something that was never in school that they should add? Sharp Lady, go first. I like yours.
Well, so as you know, and I don't know if any of you all have asked your kids, I need you to sign your name. And my kids look at me like I'm 10 carats stupid when I say sign your name. So my daughter, she already she self-taught herself how to write in cursive because she's 14. So I would say probably when she was about maybe 5, that's when they stopped teaching kids how to write in cursive in school. But it's needed because if you don't have any way to sign your name, people have the ability to just take your identity. So I think that it should. So my agency that I work with, we have a whole campaign about bringing back cursive writing. And I think it's important. Very, very important. That is your lifeline.
They said they got Adobe for that.
They got Adobe for that? Okay. So how you supposed to sign your name with Adobe on just a regular application or something?
Or a check.
Yeah, or a check.
Who
something
gets
like
applications and checks? You just mobile app it.
No, because the reason why I said go with Big Sharp first is because I was just watching a podcast and the mother was saying that she had to take her son to get his passport. And at a certain age, they have to sign for it themselves. And at the place, they have like a card to show you each letter because kids don't know how to sign their names. And they have
they'll print it
on stuff like that.
They'll try to print
it's just something you can just,
Facts.
I mean, I get it. I can respect that. I mean, I think they should have more life courses, like balancing your bank account.
Agreed.
Yeah, because I mean, as a people, we fall for that $30 overdraft fee quite often, and that $40 overdraft fee can make the difference between you being good and you not being good.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have when I was money illiterate, more so, I spent a lot of money on them $40 fees, dog.
Okay, so I got a question. Was it because you wasn't balancing your account correctly, or was it just because you still want to spend?
I mean, I may have not known, but I think it's predatory for each thing that come in $40, and like that's ridiculous. That's just a way of stealing your money.
Yeah.
You could also not make purchases that you don't have money for. Because here's the thing. I know how to balance my checkbook. I also have overdrafted. But what I was going to say was, when y'all were in school, did they teach y'all how to balance checkbooks?
Yep. I remember having home
I learned that in school.
Yeah. I had
didn't
home
learn that.
economics.
Well, they knew you guys were overdrafting out there, so they said, you know what, just gonna let them.
First of all, no.
But I'm gonna support you, because when I was in the 4th grade, I remember us learning how to write a check and how to balance a checkbook, and we did that in 4th grade. So what? You're 9 years old in the 4th grade, 8 and 9. So that's when I learned about how to write a check, how to subtract and know how much money you start off with and what you end. But I think for a lot of people is that when they are, balancing their checkbooks, they forget about maybe unexpected bills. And that was what caused people a lot of times to overdraft. And yeah, as you were saying, the banks love it, because every time you overdraft, it probably causes another one. You get a trickle down effect. So it's real easy for you to get 3 or 4 overdrafts at one time.
It's easy to go 300 or 400 overdrafts, because Apple Pay take it every month. They take it extra. You might not even be knowing about it, but they just gonna take it on the sneak. StreamYard gonna mess around and take it. People, they just
I didn't learn. I didn't learn that in school, my brother. I didn't learn that in school. I didn't learn about balancing my checkbook till I got married.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I definitely think that should be added then, but I learned. I don't know.
But if Sharp Lady learned in 4th grade or however, from 4th grade to 18 years old, when you really need it, you need a refresher. And things change.
Yeah. Well, they do, but I can say that the technique. I still have the technique to remember, and and I still think that even though I very rarely write a check, it's branded in me that I know that if I take this amount, I need to look at my balance and make sure that I have enough left to cover whatever I need to cover, and that's where people to me fall short, because they don't check their balances either.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not going to talk about checks, because until I had a business, I really didn't deal with checks at all. So like the whole time where before I wasn't doing no checks, I wasn't getting no checks. I just think that, there's so many parts of that system that probably needs to be revamped. I think I don't even know how they're doing sex ed, or however they do it, or like home ec. I don't think they're doing those type of things anymore either. I feel like also, you know how they have that class where you can get a job and not go to class?
Uh-huh.
I get it, but at that age, most people have jobs at like McDonald's or Wendy's and stuff like that. Maybe it'll be wiser to take that period and do another type of job, like a better electronics job, or elevators, how to fix elevators or something.
So I think when I was in school, and they still do it. My school is a little bit different. If you didn't know, I went to Paul Lawrence Dunbar Community High School. But at Dunbar, so we did have a period where we worked, but it wasn't like we just went and got some random job, because we were also a college preparatory school. We were placed in jobs that were in the field that we wanted to go into. So Dunbar focused on health and business. So I was in the health department. I worked at Hopkins.
Respectfully, I can respect that.
So it wasn't. So also it was actually for us. I won't even say it was work, because it's not like we went and got paid or anything like that. I don't know what other schools do, because I know my sister did it at when she was in high school. But it was our credit. Like we had to get graded there and all of that. So we were learning skills, because I was a pharmacy tech.
We kind of had the same program at our school too, where it was they considered it as work real life work experience. We didn't get paid for it either, but we got the credit in the class for doing it. And I actually worked at Johns Hopkins at the Institute of Health Programs, and like Toya was saying, the teacher and instructor there came, graded us. They did the on-site, and then we had to get progress reports from our supervisor there to say how we were doing with learning that particular job. So that's how it became recognizable to me about, knowing how to manage your finances, knowing how to spend and spend wisely.
Y'all was there together? Y'all was there
Say it
together?
again.
Y'all was there at the same time?
No, of course not, Six.
I'm
But
a
it was
baby.
What up, Randy?
it was still there. I mean, and that's kind of where,
Baby.
I don't think they do that, now with any of the school systems. I could say, well, I should say the public school systems. I know in my daughter's school, they still do it. And they have a whole course. They have it's like the whole entire year of them learning about life skills. From cooking to washing and so forth.
Well, before I was forcefully kicked out of the school, I did go to a tech magnet school, but they were a little bit biased against me, but I digress. But anyways, question for
That's why you
everybody.
were put out. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
Let's not skirt past that. Can we discuss why you were put out?
I would love to hear this story.
I will tell you real quick. So, in my Howard County ways, I was definitely going through my Baltimore phase, and in school, I mean,
Please don't blame us.
with my hold up. When I was going through,
Don't blame us. You hadn't even been here.
No, I'm gonna blame you guys. It's my fault too, but I'm definitely gonna blame you guys. So I had I was going through my Baltimore ways. Well, not Baltimore ways, but my friends from Baltimore. When learning new words like to and do and shoe and move. They also taught me a word called "you a coon, yo." So in my Black American history class, the teacher was talking shit, and I was in front of everybody, and I was like, "You a coon, yo." Mistake. Because teachers know how to play with your mind. So she took it literally. She knew what she was doing, but she took it literally and went to the principal, and they was kind of making it seem like I was making a racist type of joke. And all I was doing was saying the slang. That's like calling my teacher a dummy.
Kathy, was that a slang term when you were in school, when you were younger?
Nope, never heard of it.
Oh my God.
Was what a slang term?
Were you and your friends calling each other coons?
No.
It wasn't an endearment. It was a
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is clearly the people you relied on to give you Baltimore information was failing you all the way around. Because there was another story you told us before that you was like, oh, such and such came back and told us this was cool. They lied to you a lot, and you let them.
I didn't let them. I mean,
that's why I want you to stop blaming things on Baltimore, because clearly that ain't it.
Look here, Toy. You a cool.
Thank you, Patrick. Patrick said we're looking good.
We appreciate it. Randy, we said cools? We said that? When?
Yes,
we
it was
said
a thing, yo.
That it was somebody like Randy who told him that. And Randy, was you raised in church? I call into question Randy's street cred.
Yeah. So I gotta back up. So Six, you saying the word coon, the way your friends taught it, it was meant to say you're dumb or you're illiterate, correct? Is that what
it was just, I mean, it was like whatever little dish, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying I've never heard anybody say it. I don't feel like it was a Baltimore thing. Like I know I don't use the word dummy, but I know that's like a Baltimore slang. I don't
It
feel
was in
like
the same
coon.
category.
I don't feel like I ever heard coon in our like to be like a Baltimore thing. Like I've heard it, but I
It
don't
was
think
a
that was like
slang.
really.
I could've-
Hey, Lambs.
Well,
Patrick, you from Baltimore? You can tell us. Anything else that we think they should have in school besides people from trying to take things from Baltimore, making it look bad?
Hey, who called it street cred and who
Street
did
cred
that?
question is crazy.
because he knows
You're not
that's what they were
qualified
saying.
for this?
Oh,
I want
you
to know
done
why
made
I'm not
Randy-
qualified to question Randy's street cred.
Whoa.
You done messed up.
Whoa.
You done messed
Everybody
up.
know why.
Whoa. Whoa.
I feel like
I'ma tell
me
you
and
why.
Randy probably have the same amount of street cred, which is why I can call his into question.
I'm gonna tell you,
That's just my
because I think we're gonna have to
But
call Brandon
out
for
of-
your street cred.
Out of 4 people, only one person know what you're talking about. So therefore,
You know what I'm talking about. You just trying to act like you ain't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
I don't
about.
think it was. I feel like your whole I learned this from Baltimore is where I have a problem. I'm not saying that you even used it incorrectly. I'm saying that wasn't a Baltimore thing. Huh?
What other state was it? What other city was it? It wasn't a New York
I
thing.
guess this was from New York.
Nah.
I can say that I'm with Toya that I've heard more people in terms of when they're insulting people's intellect say something using the word dumb, like you so stupid or you so dumb, something like that.
It was one of those hot words at the time.
Okay.
Just like
It was probably
just
hot.
like-
You know what? It probably was hot in the DMV.
No, it was not, because
It was
You
probably
forget our
hot in the
school
DMV.
our school was a couple of blocks from Baltimore.
I'm not questioning. First of all, it's more than a couple blocks. Let's not exaggerate that. I know where you went to
I
school.
mean, when you ain't got no car, it's what do you think?
I'm just saying. I'm over it. I ain't gonna fight you with it. I just wanted to know why you got put out, and I think I interrupted the real story.
I mean, so along
So
with
going
this,
back to the question of the day, what should we bring back to the school? So we talked that we said we would bring it back. You think I said I thought that cursive should be brought back. 6 said lifestyle skills. And that could be really big in terms of everything, because that could be that. But on the technical side, I think they should teach kids how to type again, because they don't teach kids about typing skills. They show them about using a computer, but they don't show them how to use the keys on the computer or how to keystroke.
Well, how do they type their papers?
Like this.
I thought that's all they do.
No, watch them. If you sit up there, most of them type with one finger, or they're sitting there, they're typing, and they're looking at the keys when they're typing.
There should be a small course on texting.
Oh, wait a minute. Randy came in late. Randy said cursive is unnecessary for trades and life skills. I agree.
So, okay, Randy, if cursive is unnecessary, because I'm going to ask you this. How do you, as in Toya first pointed out, the reason why it's important, when you take to get your kids to a passport, because I've been in that same situation. As I said, my daughter taught herself how to write in cursive. How will your kids know how to sign their name then? Because anybody can
Maybe we
print
should
that
just teach
name.
them how to sign their name.
Say that again.
Maybe we should just teach them how to sign their name, and that's it, because you don't really need it for nothing else.
Or how about this? Because I will say it's not like something I prefer. Nobody writes letters anymore, but I like a handwritten note in cursive. I think it can be pretty. But why do we have to sign for stuff? Like, why can't we just write our name?
Because
Because
it's
signature,
your
a
signature is
signature
your
ain't nothing
identity,
but scribble.
but it's part of your identity. It separates you.
If it's not your signature, it's your handwriting that separate. Because whether you write in cursive or in script, a handwriting analyst can still determine who wrote something is based on like your strokes and how you do things.
Okay,
I
I'll give you that.
I changed my signature on everything.
Okay,
And I done wrote
And-
Mickey Mouse a couple times.
Yo, my signature look like Carl Kanai.
well, maybe
like
maybe it is. Maybe the handwriting. Maybe I will give you. I'll say okay. Your penmanship is what your penmanship and maybe your keystrokes or your pen strokes are the one that identify you. But either way, um, I feel like it's important. I feel like, it's something that's needed. Because as you said, if you got to take it all the way to a handwriting expert, what if you don't have all of that time and, you know, somebody's just writing your name everywhere and then you getting something blamed on you that you didn't have anything to do because your name is on it?
I mean, I don't think they look at signature. The only thing that I really know is like going to get your passport at a certain age, you have to sign and you can't print it, Randy. But I think other than that, like if I open up something in Marlon's name, I'm not confessing anything, allegedly, or hypothetically. But if I opened up
stole your credit.
If I use his information, I don't know what Marlon's signature look like. I'm just gonna sign, and it's gonna look like my signature. To be honest, only signature I done got down packed is my mama's, and she did, so I ain't signing hers anymore. But I mean, I don't. That's the only thing that I really feel like I know you have to have it for. Outside of that, I don't know what the need is for it.
Well, I know that in for vital records, you do need it.
By the time you get
Randy,
to vital records,
Angel took Marcus to get his passport, and they made him sign it. Stop telling me it's not needed. They gave him a chart that he had to look at for each letters.
I know for you. I know, and I know if you do anything vital records in a hospital, you have to sign your name. If you do a record request,
you can write any name. They don't know.
No, because anything that they consider as an affidavit or something that they are sending to another agency for verification, you have to sign your name.
You sign affidavits?
Yeah.
You snitching?
No, you sign. You know that when you're doing something like you're doing something related to your hospital record, they making a change with your hospital record, you have to sign an affidavit saying why you're doing a change.
Patrick said I'm right. I mean, I don't know. It's not top on my list. I just don't understand why they got rid of. You know what I think they should bring back? Normal math.
Agreed.
Right.
Because I don't like. I kept hearing parents talk about they switch math, and I was like, y'all just old and don't remember. And then I saw a math problem, and I was like, I would just go ahead and do it my way. And they was like, no, you have to solve for it. What the?
Now say the acronym that the kids have to know in order to solve the math problem.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I think.
Yeah. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Nah, I don't know how it works.
Yeah. And each one of those letters stand for how you should solve the problem, the steps for solving the problem. Like the P is
that's for that one math problem. That's for that one math problem. They have so what if there's no parentheses?
Then you supposed to then you go to whatever the next is. But that is
like cross diagonal, like some stuff like that, and then put it together.
Well, I know that
That's the Baltimore education.
Yeah, I know that when
It's
now
online, so please stop coming from my city that you want to claim, you want to have so much attachment to.
I was young.
all I know, Toya, is that is the phrase, and my daughter's very good in math, so every time when she tries to teach some of the males math, she always starts with that phrase and shows them
All
how
right,
to use it.
Andrew and Randy, y'all have young kids. Is that what y'all doing with y'all math? Because like Randy
No,
said, that ain't new. That's
it's not
old.
new.
There
It's
is
not new, but they're
something.
not using that.
There is something that's like, I don't know if it's like a cross and diagonal, but there is literally a new math where, like, if you have 33 plus 56, you can't just put them on top of each other and add it up.
Exactly.
Am I right?
It's
Okay.
like Common Core or something like that.
Well, that's what they
Yes.
got. They had Common Core, and then
Common Core.
they had Common Core, and then they went back because the kids were struggling with Common Core.
Well,
Well,
I don't
If you
know.
look,
This
I was
man
struggling
got
with Common
kids
Core.
that age right now.
Yo,
I
shout
know
out to
that
Selfie.
I know a lot of schools don't use Common Core, like, but you got to remember, each school systems have different things. Like, I know the Catholic school, they use something completely different. So their curriculum may be different from what they're doing. And, me being in a different state, I know that that's the math that they use here.
Yo, you know what's really the dumb shit about it is you can get the answer right however you get the answer right, but then they want you to explain it.
Math.
Like,
Yes,
yo,
you have to show it the way that they now teach it. So
that's
even
not
like
right.
I said, if you put 35 over 56 and you adding it up and putting your carryover, they're gonna be like, no. And
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
you
messed
can't
up.
help your child that way.
But in the job market
I can't
today,
help little
you have to
Timmy.
figure out there's other ways to get the right answer. It's just not always the same way.
Well, even jobs that you don't think require you to do a basic math test to keep the job. I don't know if you all are aware of that. And some of the basic math questions are questions like what Toya is saying, and they want you to show your work.
Now, I did used to work for a staffing firm, and so we did issue those tests. Now, this has been a long time ago. This was even before Mimi. We didn't require people to show their work, and I only know this because you could also just use the computer to get your answers. Whatever got you to pass was, because I ain't gonna lie, I took one for the company I'm with, and I don't know if they said you could use the internet or not, but I had to because I didn't understand a thing they were saying. I just cut and pasted into Google, and I put the answer that Google gave.
You are hired because you know how to find the answer. That's
did.
all I need you to do is find the answer.
That's true. That's true. I have a question. It's not about what they should take out of school, but based on what happened the last 2 days, do y'all feel that they are making children soft because they closed school early and then they went in late today?
Well, where I live, it was bad because we got like a whole lot of vegetation and trees and stuff down. And if you go to school in the dark, you might encounter these trees, and we only have like 1-lane roads, you know what I'm saying? 2-lane roads or whatever. But as far as like something that's built up nicely and got like buildings and stuff, they probably should have went to school.
But so to that end, well, hello there. To that end, the thing is, what people I said today to somebody on Facebook, people really only see their scope of what's going on around them. So, like you said, for my area, it was bad. But if the school system built up over there, they can go to school. But you don't know who live over there and got to travel over here. And as far as Baltimore County is here. It surrounds the city, all around it. So there have been times. I remember one time, me and my sister were supposed to go somewhere. She lives in Middle River. I lived in Woodlawn. My car had to be dug out of the snow, and she said it was raining at her house, and we sent pictures to each other. So you have to make a decision that for the worst case scenario, even though it involves all. So like people were like, why they getting out of school? Marlon came home from driving school and was like, we had to end the class because it's trees down. It was a whole bunch of car accidents. So you want your kids out there in that?
No. I mean,
so it was ultimately didn't have power this morning.
Yeah.
But they need time to go in and assess what type of damage it was. So, Pastor, what you think
about the whole school thing? So I ain't gonna lie to you. I really said like legit, like we went to school with snow. We went to school with a lot of snow. We actually had so much snow we can jump in the snow. We still had to go to school in it or whatever. So I was saying that when the rain came out. But I want to say in the same token, before you respond, boss, I will agree with 6 or whatever. It was a mess outside or whatever, and it was a dangerous thing because it being cold and having all that rain and stuff like that, you can't negate the floods, the flooding. In the city, we had all of the streets that the water wasn't going nowhere; it was just staying there. So it was a lot of puddles, and then once it's given time to get cold, it can freeze. So it was a lot of things we had to consider with our kids or whatever. So I'm not gonna say we made them weak, but I won't sit here and lie and say I didn't think, we went to school in the snow.
This way it's gonna mess up. Go ahead.
To that end, I would like to say there was a time where you didn't have to wear a seatbelt, a time where you could smoke when you were pregnant, a time where you could ride with kids sitting on your lap in the front seat. That don't mean we should still do those things. So when we know better, we do better. I remember going the blizzard that everybody wants to talk about, and I think we've had a worse blizzard since in 2016, but we weren't in school. But I went to school in that blizzard that everybody referenced. We had to climb up on snowbanks to get on the sidewalk. Once you get on top of that snowbank, you had to jump off to actually get into the bus. Or sometimes we had to stand in the street. If we wasn't going to get on the snowbank, stand in the street. So that meant we standing in traffic. I went to school because I had perfect attendance, but it also has made me question how much my parents loved me that they allowed me to do that. They could have at the very least taken me to school, but that was not.
It was dangerous for them. They were like, nah, she can go.
I was their favorite, though. Why would they let me go? I understand if you let the other ones go, but I was their baby.
But what we have to think about when we think about that is what the kicker is going to be. So they budget so many snow days and days out of school. So at the end of the year, when we use that day, because it snowed a lot this year, and your kid's still in school in the summertime, they're going to be salty about it. We're going to be rehashing this conversation like, why did we take off a day for rain?
That's true, but I don't think they budget for snow days anymore.
Oh, well, I'm old. I apologize.
Because now that they have the virtual capabilities, that's why when people keep being like, I wanted the blizzard, a lot of us still work from home, so I'm still going to have to work. Then I'm going to have to sit here with this kid and a laptop.
So that's the other thing. When people say, I want the blizzard, because my wife was one of them. I said, I'm essential 2 times. I'm double essential. What I mean by that, I work security at a hospital. I work in security at the hospital. So I have to go to the hospital in security. The other thing is I'm in the National Guard. So the National Guard will call you up and be like, we got to take people to work or whatever if it snows real bad. So either way, I'm screwed.
Does the National Guard outrank the security?
I won't say that it does that because no. They have it. So if the National Guard calls, yes, it outranks that. But that's not the snow. The snow is not going to happen like that. So like, say you get a lot of snow and you got to get in a Humvee and take people to work or whatever like that. it's enough National Guard soldiers available where they don't have the mandatory. So yeah.
Okay. So who do y'all take to work? Because ain't nobody ever come.
Be like doctors and nurses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just gonna say, because I don't like blizzards, because I've been in 3 accidents in the snow. None of them were my fault, but I don't want to deal with that and have to take people to court.
Right.
The other, I forgot what the other thing was. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you.
Are you caught up on the comments?
Oh, I didn't even see that there. Let's see. I'm gonna start where I see. So Randy says, so I gotta change my perspective to I'm glad we didn't have it as bad as others. Oh, let me go back. He must have been one of them people that was talking about the snow. He said, I agree, because I was saying it was an overreaction, but someone said they had lost power and her roof was that. Hey, my roof probably damaged too. I just ain't look. That was the other thing. Like, people lost power. My child ain't gonna go to school if we don't have no power. Right. Schools lost power.
They can have the internet though.
You were saying that, like, you know, different things. So just in the Woodlawn
the 96
area,
blizzard.
Yeah, my job is in the Woodlawn area, and when I came into the work site today, it was trees all down on Woodlawn and Dogwood. So, you know, I think some areas even all around were just tore up, different things, and Dogwood Road was flooded.
Do y'all think that this storm? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, do y'all think this storm is an indication of what the rest of the winter is going to have for us?
I don't think we'll have people in a blizzard. I'm not sure how many more blizzards we have in our future.
Why?
Thank global warming.
I need a blizzard.
Like, if you think I looked it up because I'm so tired of hearing about the blizzard of 96, and I knew we had a blizzard since. The one in 2016, I think, was worse than 96, but we weren't students, so we wasn't outside climbing. That's why we don't care. But damn, why I keep forgetting?
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. The way some of the kids are struggling in school, they don't need to be doing no virtual learning.
Okay, so I have a special case, so I don't know. My child did well with virtual learning, but it's Mimi, so you know. Okay. I'm just saying, it ain't the same as everybody else kid that's doing virtual learning.
All jokes aside, I'm just saying, I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes the virtual learning can put your child behind versus putting them ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, they did find out a lot of kids that happened when they came back into the classroom. Some of them were behind and some of them were ahead.
I was about to say, that's just the thing. I heard like a lot of kids did well from it, and I'm not including Mimi in that. I heard a lot of kids did well with it. I also think that, and I'm not posting blame, but I also think part of it is that there was a lot of lack structure when it came to virtual learning. And the reason why I'm not pointing blame is because you got to work. Parents got to work. But it was a lot of kids who was like in their bed. Or of course you're not learning. If you laying in bed, they cut their camera off and go do whatever. Of course you're not learning. And I heard these stories from parents. And I'm sitting there like, well, you're my friend, so I can't really tell you how I feel, but I feel like you're the problem.
Is it okay for them to turn off?
Huh?
No, that was a requirement for most virtual learning. And I'm gonna have to say, you know, go with Toya on that. To me, your child learned based upon how much you made them really act like it was a regular school environment. Like, I know that my kids, they were up every day at the same time that they would normally be getting ready for school, sitting down at a table. Actually, I remember going to the Goodwill and finding the desk and table, the old style desk and table, so that they could sit and really be in the classroom setting.
Sharp
And
lady, just to go ahead.
go ahead. No.
Just to piggyback on what you said, God rest her soul. My youngest daughter's godmother had a whole joint, just like you said, a whole thing picked out. Had a Minnie Mouse table, Minnie Mouse chair, the little headphones, and all of that, just for my youngest daughter to have to feel like it was a real classroom setting or whatever like that. So I just wanted to agree with you real quick.
Yeah. And I made, I made sure that they stay, in tune with what would happen if they were in school. They took the lunch break at the same time that they would take a lunch break. And, it was about being disciplined. But I guess for me, it was easy because I've homeschooled my kids before. So I've already had that level of discipline.
Yeah, and like I said, it's hard if you, especially parents that didn't work from home. So parents that had to leave. But I also think that, so what I said was, to answer my question about kids being soft, I made a post. I was like, I don't think your child getting out of school because it's going to snow or rain early or them going in late is what makes them soft. But maybe the things like not disciplining your child makes them soft. Letting them do whatever they want to do. When your kids dictate what to eat because they picky eaters, and you give in to that. When you got Starbucks money for your kids all the time, when your kids failing, but they got an iPhone, iPad, iPods, and a gaming system, that makes them soft. When you want a participation trophy, that makes them soft. I don't think them not having to deal with a blizzard on the streets makes them soft.
Is it okay?
I gotta agree with you on that.
Because we're in a soft world. I'm just saying, I guess it's okay for them to be soft.
I gotta agree with her, bro. Like we gotta start prioritizing the kids, getting their education on or whatever like that. A lot of the kids know how to work your phone if they grab it. They know how to work the iPad when they grab it. But if they can't read or write, what good is like knowing how to work the phone and work the iPad and all the rest of that stuff?
And that's absolutely true, because you do have kids that are graduating from high school that are at at kindergarten level, or can't read or can't even read. And it's kind of disheartening, because I just found this out that if your child has an IEP and they they can't actually do the things that in the normal classroom setting, they get excluded from some of the mandatory tests that you would have to know in order to know if they were like able to read or write at their level. Like they get excluded from the STAR and some of those tests that tell you what grade level they're in. So you could wind up, if you had a child on an IEP, they graduate from high school and you find out they're graduating at the 12th grade, but they're reading at kindergarten or first grade level because they got excluded because of the IEP.
The IEP doesn't say all that, because Mimi has one. I just talked to her teacher to prepare for her actual meeting, and her IEP tells me what level she's on. No, now, I don't know if it's because she goes to a special needs school, so they have to make, I don't know if it's a little different with her, but hers tells me. Real quick, Randy said not too much on my picky eaters now. I judge all of y'all. I'm sorry. And it's only because my child eats everything. But my niece, my great niece, Kenny Ken, she only eats broccoli. And I'm a spoiled aunt, so I will I'll provide what she wants. But also at the same time, I'm like, if you get me on the right day, you will starve. But back to the IEP.
I think, and I'm not sure, and it could have just been this particular IEP didn't have it. I don't know if it's the initial ones that show you, or, maybe the revisit ones don't show you, but, the STAR and those standardized tests keep you really up to date, because the IEP is once a year, right? they get an IEP once a year, or do they get one initially and then they get like revisits to it?
I go twice a year for Mimi.
It's twice a year for JJ.
Okay.
It's twice a year for JJ.
So do when they do the IEPs, have you all seen that? Or have know that they can some of them do exclude the child from those standardized testing?
So I'm gonna skip. Randy wrote a nice paragraph that that I hope y'all read. But Sheree said, hell no. Your IEP tells you exactly what your reading level is. And she said twice a year as well. And back to Randy. He said, Sharp Lady, I'm going to definitely be paying attention to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, so like I think so that's three of us. All of us are twice a year.
Say that again, Toya. All three of you what?
I said that's three. That's me, Andrew, and Sheree. Ours are twice a year. I don't know if Sheree got one or if she's just telling us. But
what was your question again, Sharp Lady, about the test?
Yeah, I was just asking, does it say anything about being excluded from the test? And the only reason why I'm speaking of this, because this was a real life situation where I was dealing with a client and I was helping them out for getting into doors and getting into doors, one of the reasons why I was helping them was because the client couldn't read, and it said on their IEP that they were excluded from standardized tests, and their reading level was not on the standardized test. So when doors tested them, I was shocked at their reading level. And when the client was asked, did you know that your reading level was that low? They said no.
So I just asked Shayna about it. She said it doesn't exclude JJ from standardized tests.
Okay.
It might be some kids, because I would assume Mimi is excluded. So it may say that on hers. I just know that it does tell me like her reading level, her math level. It even tells me, and like I said, maybe it's different for her because of her situation. It even tells me what age she's performing at. So Mimi doesn't function as a normal 15-year-old. It tells me what age level she functions at as well. Sheree said no to something. Then she said no because they should get assistance like text-to-speech, extended time, and other aids.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. We did go a little long on our question of the day, but I want to make sure we get some other stuff in. So, what did we name? I want to go. I'm sorry, y'all. First of all, somebody asked me, I think they asked me, was I drinking? I'm really not. I have Pepsi and water. But so celebrity tea. I know we didn't I think that Cat Williams interview dropped after our last show, was it?
Yes,
I think so.
Okay, yeah, because we didn't talk about it. But let's start with the cat being out the bag. How do y'all feel about Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay?
All I can say is, wow. There was a lot of information that, was revealed that kind of has been rumors throughout Hollywood and for a while. And I feel like he set some of those rumors straight. And I think that people have kind of slept on Cat Williams. And why I say that, because they've underrated his intelligence and how he can put things together and really just make sense of things that people haven't been able to make sense with. So that's my perspective on it.
So, I didn't watch the whole thing in entirety, but I watched a good portion of it. That joint was like 2.5 hours, I think. But I really think that what he did, is you can't take everything that he said seriously, but I feel like what he really gave everybody was a 100% free show. It was like a comedy show. It was good promotion for him. It showed that, I mean, even during the comedy show, you talk about everybody. It got him hot for the start of the year. And I mean, he's all over the place. Everybody's talking about him. It's memes everywhere.